The idea of abstraction. In a programming sense. Is the process of hiding the inner workings of how a program works. Think about it like how you use a car every day.
Yeah, so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I've been in the field for 25 years. I'm in a group private practice now, but before then, I worked with a crisis stabilization program for adolescents, and I've worked in subacute facilities. I've worked in inpatient addiction state facilities. I've done solo private practice. So I've kind of had a good mix.
Nice.
Before you had violent video games, or before you had, first-person shooter video games, there wasn't really an opportunity, and I say that neutrally when I say opportunity, but there wasn't really an opportunity for people to experience what that was like. Those were trainings that were saved for law enforcement or military. And so having that access opened up to just anybody for people to experience, like, this is this is a simulation of what it might feel like, and whether that's people respond to that positively or negatively. I think there's a lot of underlying issues. I just think that violent video games have kind of become like, it has to be this. And it's not always that. I work in a grade school. We have kids that are as young as kindergarten that play violent video games. And as soon as the teacher knows that, they're like, well, they're impulsive. And 5-year-olds tend to be impulsive. Or they're more aggressive. Well, yep, developmentally, that might be appropriate. There might be other things going on in that kid's life besides video games. So I think it's one of those things where I think the kind of train of thought around that is people are trying to look at, like, was the behavior there before the video games, or was the potential there because of other things going on outside of the video games before the video games? Like, what is feeding what? And I don't know that we have enough solid data on that yet. And to be honest with you, the research about whether or not video games are harmful is very conflicting. There's some research that says, yes, absolutely, it's in brain development and it's behavioral and it's all these things. And then you have another study that comes out and contradicts it. If the video gaming becomes excessive and it's pulling somebody's time and attention or even resources away from people around them, then I think it gets a negative connotation. I think the violence just adds another layer to it, where it's like, well, they're not just playing video games that's taking them away from us, but now they're playing violent video games. I think that I talk to a lot of people that use video games as a way to kind of decompress or manage stress. Sometimes when it gets excessive, I have family members say they isolate themselves, or they don't want to be around us, or they come to the dinner table but they can't wait to go back. And so in that capacity, I think that it is isolating. But I also talk to a lot of people who are like, well, I play with my friends, or we talk while we're playing video games and we're interacting. And so I think for a lot of people that struggle in social situations, I feel like it's an outlet for them to have social connection. There's that underlying of, I don't want to talk to people about what's going on with me. I don't want people to know. I don't have as much energy. I'm not as interested in hanging out with people. And that just becomes their normal. I think it's a gradual progression. And they kind of are like, this is too much to navigate on top of everything that I'm already feeling and trying to cope with. And so they just choose not to. They just choose to kind of figure out ways to cope and tolerate with it until, again, it becomes intolerable. And so I think that because technology is being introduced to kids at such a young, I'm a dinosaur. We didn't have laptops until I was in college or later. So I think because technology is being introduced at such a young age, I feel like kids need to be educated at a younger age than one would think. I mean, 5's young, but I have kids that are 5 I have some kids that are 5 that are completely addicted to screens at that age.
Hey, my name is Rory James, and you may know me as the guy in August's documentary. So I've been playing violent video games ever since I was 3, and I play with my uncle in GTA, and I ran over people with cars. Although, as I've been playing violent video games, over the years, it hasn't affected my mental health that much. And at school, we've been using Chromebooks for almost everything we do, and it's made me a little depressed during life. Playing video games can have good effects on you and actually help your mental health, but the overuse of it can really ruin your... Shut up! Personally, me, I haven't had any trouble with playing violent video games, and it hasn't affected my life. But, I don't know. The overuse of screens and games at school has started to have a negative effect on me. I've lost a lot of fun memories of playing games with my friends because the overuse of screens and stuff at school has made my friends not want to play when they get home, so we can't really play video games together. I hope the classes to come don't have to use Chromebooks as much in school and can be involved in class without using screens. I hope people can learn to use screens and games on their own time to make as much fun memories as me. My name's Rory James, thanks for watching.